The following presentation is brought to you by kmmedia.pro. Please visit kmmedia.pro for more information. Now stay right where you are as we present... Welcome to Positive Talk Radio, evolving ideas, one conversation at a time. Great guests, dynamic stories and interviews, plus new thoughts on a wide range of topics and concepts. I hope that you'll hang with me, Kevin McDonald, my friends, and of course, you. As together we work to understand why we are all here and what we can do to make our world a better place for all of us. To be happy, be kind, and live in peace together. Yep, that's Positive Talk Radio. And welcome everybody to Friday. It's Positive Talk Radio. My name is Kevin McDonald, and this is what we like to term as Metaphysical Friday, where we have some of the best psychic mediums and readers and energy workers and stuff from all over the planet, and we're very happy to have our guest here today, who is really awesome. But first, Nathan, how are you?
Good afternoon, Kevin, and unfortunately, I am not very metaphysical, so that's why we have our brilliant guests who can do all of that for us.
Well, you know, one of these days it's going to just rub off on you. It just truly is, because you're very gifted at what you do, and you add a lot to the show, and so I'm very pleased to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. It's great to be here, and always fun working with you and your guests, and having fun on the radio.
Absolutely. Well, what's even better is you're getting paid to be here. Isn't that cool?
And you are too.
Well, kind of, sort of not really. But
kind of depends on how our little competition goes with giving out the phone numbers.
Exactly. That's right. So Jenn Gilbreth is with us, and she is a psychic medium, and she is residing in the great state of Georgia currently. And I don't know how in the world she ended up in that place, but, I imagine. What's the weather like there today, Jen?
It's actually overcast today. It's been raining. It's been pouring rain, but still humid as ever.
How about on Monday? Are you one of those places like the Pacific Northwest where we always seem to get like clouds or rain on the 4th of July and kind of puts a shame to the fireworks because it's harder to set them off or watch them?
Yeah. It's supposed to be, we're just looking at the weather, but it's supposed to have like a 46% chance of rain. So I'm crossing my fingers that it doesn't.
I think the odds are in your favor.
I think we got you beat. It's supposed to be rainy and colder on the 4th of July for us.
I think it's saying a 60% chance for us. So odds are not in our favor.
No, they are not.
Well, I'll send some good voodoo vibes to change that up here. Bring in the sun.
That would be great, although it's going to be great today and great tomorrow, which means I get to go kill weeds in my yard, but that's just me. Are you planning on going anywhere and doing anything fun, Jen?
We're just going to be hanging out, I think, at the lake. We have a lake by us, so we'll get some tubes and have some good food and just hang out there, it sounds like.
Well, be careful whatever you do. And if you're traveling this weekend, which I understand according to, who is it? The car people, that there's going to be a lot of people traveling this weekend. So please be careful. If you're in your car going to wherever you're going, just take it easy. You're going to get there. It's going to be fine. So just relax, take it easy, go with the flow, and you'll get there sooner or later. And stuff. So with that, Jen is a psychic medium. She's been on the show many times before. She's one of the modern sages, and but the other sage is off having her holiday weekend, and so today we get to concentrate on Jen and her gifts. So like I said, she's a psychic medium. She is very talented at what she does. And you are welcome to give us a call. Nathan, I'm going to let you go first this time.
Oh, you don't want your $20? All right, Let's see. All right, our phone number is 425-373-5527 or toll free at 888-298-5569. Don't forget the 1 at the beginning of that. And that will get you in the queue to speak with Jenn Gilbreth from the Modern Sages.
So that is, you have to put the 1 in front of the 888?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
The 1-800.
1-888-298-5569. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Good. I'm glad I
don't necessarily need it for the 425. I mean, you can, but it's not required.
No, but a lot of times on this Friday, because it's Metaphysical Friday, and we have some folks that are really gifted from all over the United States and Canada, that we get quite a few calls from all over the place. So we're looking forward to that. If you'd like to talk to Jen, you can do that now at 425-373-5527. Even though you said it first, I'll just kind of repeat it. So there we are. And Jen, well, how you been doing? What you been doing with yourself?
Yeah, I have been busy with sessions. I'm working on a couple of courses. One of them is connecting to your ancestors, which I'm excited about that just because I feel like so many people are being called to connect to their ancestors and the roots of where they came from. And I myself have been really finding a lot of purpose and connection in doing so. And so I just feel like it's time for so many more people to have access and to like believe and trust that they have that connection as well. So I've been working really hard on that, and it's been really exciting.
Now, when we're talking about ancestors, are we talking about grandma and grandfather's past, or are we talking about farther back than that?
All of it. So yeah, grandma and grandpa, but also like the generations, like linking the lineages is what I like to say. And so that could be, 4, 5, 6 generations back on your mom's mom side. And so we really hone in on how to connect to them, tools and tips, physical things you can do, as well as some really beautiful guided journeys in that space to deliver messages and to receive them. And then we're going to lean into more like ancestral healing and finding your guide for your family and how they can help bring any healing if anyone feels stuck or stagnant on the other side. So yeah, there's quite a lot to it.
Now, in your world, is there a common guide for your family, for your ancestry, that has hung with you through the generations, or do we each have our own brand new one that when we come here?
It just depends on the person, because sometimes there will be someone who comes with the generations, and it's really cool to experience that. So I do like a guided journey to help them really connect into that. For myself is a moose. And so for me, I have this moose that's like my spirit guide that comes with me often to do healing and to do work with me in spirit. And so for me, that's mine. But there have been people that I have worked with one-on-one who, they have this that's been with them for lifetimes to help bring in healing and stuff like that. So yeah, it just depends. And one time I had a session with someone who it was his great-great-grandfather 7 generations back. But he was like taking on this leadership to help bring in healing and understanding. And so he like made himself really known, and we both experienced that. But he was like, I want to be the spokesman to really help bring in healing. And so, it's always different for each person. And sometimes having more of an animal is less complicated, where they don't feel like they have to know who that person is or if they're happy or sad or anything like that. Sometimes we have like preconceived thoughts about somebody or a being. And so sometimes it's kind of nice having a spirit animal there to help guide you in that aspect as well.
Your moose's name isn't Bullwinkle by chance?
Bullwinkle? No, I wish. That would be a good name.
Now you're a little younger than me, but Nathan, do you remember Bullwinkle the Moose?
Rucky.
That's right. That's an old cartoon that you probably have never seen, not once in your life.
I'm familiar with Bullwinkles down in Tukwila, the Family Fun Center.
No, there used to be a cartoon. It was Bullwinkle and Rocky. You were right. And they took care of then it was a cartoon that played in the 60s and 70s, which you were not even thought of in the 60s and 70s yet. So, but that's okay, Jen. And while we got a call coming in, we invite you to call as well. We had a call coming in, maybe, 425-373-5527 or 888-298-5569. But while I got a moment, Jen, and since it's my show, I want to display your gifts a little bit. I have a grandmother And this particular grandmother was like the light of our entire family, and was really paramount in how a lot of us feel as we grow older and stuff. And I was very, very close to her, and she's been gone for some time now. But I was curious to know, because our family, it seems like there were two distinct sides of our family. My father's side, which is where she was, and she was my father's mom, and then my mother's family, which was German in descent, and were very dysfunctional while they were here. But I've always wanted to know if my grandmother had anything that she would like to say, or my grandfather from that side as well. They both were really, really interesting and unique people. So any thoughts on that?
Yeah. So when we had met the first time, your grandmother on your mom's side came in, right? We did a lot of your mom's information. Is that right?
That was so long ago.
That was a while ago.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so I'm not sure. Now, I never really knew my mom or my grandmother on my mother's side. She passed the same year that I was born. So she's been gone for quite some time.
Yeah, let me just take a minute to connect into your dad's side of the family, and specifically connecting into her space. So I'm just going to take a moment here.
And what this is called in Radioland is dead air. And
Sorry about that.
I am required to enter that.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no, you're good.
Yeah, so when I'm connecting in, the first thing that's really coming forward for me is it feels like there's this really big connection between you two, that even though she's been gone for a while, it still feels like you have a lot of acknowledgement with her, like in her day-to-day life, almost like thinking about her often, or having this sense of understanding of who she is and her support in your life. And so I just see her like feeling like there isn't really a disconnect between you and between her. And I just see her really wanting to like reiterate that, as well as like knowing that who you are and the dreams that you have. I just see her like talking about maybe feeling like some things in your life are twisting, or different hopes and different desires in your heart space has almost changed in the past 3 months. Really, there's been big adjustments, or things like coming in of like, well, what about this? What if I could have this in life? And I just see her like opening up the door of feeling safe and feeling deserving of these changes, but very hopeful as well. And so I just see her really like welcoming in new possibilities and opening up new doors for you to really grow and to like push yourself outside of the box. But being really guided and helping you find peace in that. But she's really facilitating this new chapter of life being open, and like really stepping in and having a lot of excitement about it, and versus animosity, or like releasing and letting go of any of the worry of rejection, worry of failure, worry of not being heard in a different way. I just see her really wanting to bring that into your space. Does that make sense with you?
That's absolutely spot on. Spot on, because as you know, I've been doing this for a while, and it's a work in progress, and it continues to move, it continues to grow. And in the last 3 months, things have really changed in a large way in my world, especially around the radio and positotalk.net and all of that. And so it really is very, very true. And I really feel like my family on the other side is all kind of pushing forward, saying, go do. And am I correct in that?
Yes, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of possibilities and a lot of new openings coming for you as well. And so it's really important to not put too much on your plate from what she's saying, is because you want to achieve and to experience and have all these things, but it's really good to make sure you take time to have a balance for yourself. And that's also getting out there and allowing people into your space too, whether it be friends or whether it be just more connections. I just see her also saying, like, it's time to get out of the house. It's time to be outside of yourself. You've spent so much time within, and it's time to move forward into a new phase of life of inviting and allowing other people in, because you will not always be disappointed by people. People won't always disappoint you, is what I see her also strongly encouraging as well. But of course, it's up to you. It's your life. It's your love. It's your choice. But she's just like saying, hey, there's a lot of possibilities and opportunities that could be missed in that way.
You are again, you're spot on, spot on the truth, because I've been, since COVID began, I've been more or less sequestered in my little world and my little house and stuff. And I do need to get out. And that has been told to me a number of times, to relax and just let it flow and just let it be. And the gospel, according to, of course, Paul McCartney, just let it be. And everything will work out just dynamically. And that I need to allow, and this is really, I'm glad we're having this discussion, because this is good for everybody to know.
Absolutely.
To not push so hard that you are blocking yourself and blocking other people from supporting you and being with you. So just allow what is coming to you, and be clear about what you would wish your life to be like, but then just allow it to come to you. And rather than push, because we end up pushing other things away that we don't need to. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would completely agree. And when we can surrender, we give ourselves space to open up more, to know who we are in a deeper way. So instead of having to react to everything, we're really being called to sit within and to listen to our heart's spirit, or like our heart's voice, our heart's song, and find those things that really light us up. And when we can do that, it gives us a greater sense of accomplishment, but it also helps us enjoy the intimacies of life even better. It's like when we're not so focused on push all the time, because there are phases, there's fire and water energy, but when we can take a step back and not make ourselves wrong, that's where true growth occurs. And I have found recently a lot in my sessions that a lot of people in the past 3 weeks have been kind of going through this deep reflection, and it can feel like laziness, or it can feel like a sense of stagnation. And so if you're feeling that sense of stagnation, or like there's got to be more, it's okay not to be hard on yourself. It's okay to take time to actually enjoy life for a little bit, because when we replenish our sense of excitement in life, new possibilities will arise automatically. That's just a flow of the universe. And so it's okay to have that time.
And speaking of time,
it can be easy to just stare at the TV all the time.
Oh, exactly. And, I live in a 55 plus community, because I'm, 55 plus. And so a lot of people, they don't leave their homes. They just stay and they just watch TV. And it really is a sad thing, because they don't have a lot of friends, or they've decided to shut down. And I refuse to do that. And which is why, one of the reasons why I do this show, and I put this out there, because it's really important to me to do that for myself and for other people, and for people to listen to you, because what you're saying is absolutely correct in my view, which is you need to relax and enjoy life. That's number one. And number two is to watch the miracle of what's going to happen in your life if you just relax and let it be. Am I close?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Spot on there, Kevin. Spot on.
Hey, what do you know? If you'd like to talk to Jenn, by the way, Nathan's going to give you the numbers that you can call and talk to her right now. She's very talented. Don't waste this opportunity.
I believe it's actually your time to give out the phone numbers.
Okay, 425-373. That's 425-373-5527, or 888-298-5569. Help me win $20 from Nathan.
I want to keep it a friendly competition too, not me giving it out the whole time. I mean, you deserve some of it too.
Exactly, I know, and that's one of the things, Jen, that a lot of us have problems with is we don't necessarily believe that we deserve to have the good things in life. We think
Yeah.
we think that we are not entitled to it, and maybe that comes from our youth and the stories that we told ourselves and the stories that were told to us. And how in your work do you encourage people to understand that they're entitled to everything?
I think that it really does come with self-reflection and like knowing oneself and being okay to go there with yourself. Is being okay to sit with the good and the bad. You know, I always say it's really great to have a journal or a calendar where you can write down 3 things that you loved about yourself that day or 3 things that you did that you were proud of. And when you give yourself permission to experience that and to see the good that you have, it opens up a space for more. But that's a very simple way of being able to do that. And I found it very,
I think that's a
which is really beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea, is to have a piece of paper and a pad or a pencil and a piece of paper by your bed. And so when right before you go to bed, you reflect on what you did today, and the good of it. And I mean, if you flip somebody off in your car, you might say, why do I do that? And reflect on what you can do to change some of your negative behavior. But if you can do that, and then recognize the person that you said hello to and smiled at, and just in passing, or that you were able to help a relative, or you were able to help a friend, or some of the good things that you do, and then really enjoy that moment. I think that'll help you a great degree, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And when we set time aside for that, that's also the golden hour of like manifestation. Is what you experience before you go to bed is really what magnifies in your sleep. And so if you're putting in that positive space, you're going to have that shift in your energy as well.
Well, you know what's I got to tell you this story real quick, and then we've got some calls. I won $40. Ha ha ha.
See, I told you you're going to be making some money today, Kevin.
Well, you know, the thing is in October, one of my coaching friends, her name is Allison Roberts, is having a seminar. It's called Behind the Power, and I live in Seattle, and they live where you live, over in Georgia. And we were having this talk, and we were saying, well, you should come out, and I would love to come out, but to take me and my executive producer there is going to cost like $5,000. And she said, well, why don't you manifest it? So now there's a unique concept. Maybe I should just put it out to the universe and then work for it and then go from there. And so that's what I'm working on for the next 3 months, is manifesting $6,000 so that we can take that trip. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But now let's turn the focus back on you, because we've got a couple of calls. And we're going to get more. And the first call is Nathan. Who are we going to talk to first?
We will be speaking with Chris in Seattle. Welcome, Chris. You're live with Jenn, Gilbreth, and Kevin McDonald.
And Chris, first of all, welcome to the show. Secondly, I'm sorry for your loss. But go ahead and talk to Jenn.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Chris. Hi there.
Hi.
It's good to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. So my boyfriend passed away a few years ago, in 2019. I'm just wondering if you can feel his energy, if I'd like to know if he has any messages for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's dive in here, because instantly I saw your name come up and have been getting some information, but I feel like his personality and who he was very, I don't know. I feel like he had a very playful, loud, and like just wanting to encompass and like have everyone be included, like just very open and fun and loving. But I also see like this struggle or this battle back and forth of really like self-worth, of self-confidence, and really of showing up, like saying or showing up how he speaks to show up, is what it feels like. And so I just see him coming forward, and I see acknowledging, his journey and who he was here. And we'll have him share some validation with that. But I just feel like ultimately, he wants to bring forward the space of peace. I see his passing being something that could feel pretty traumatic, and traumatic for those who were left to pick up the pieces. Okay. And I just see him really wanting to acknowledge that he sees the growth of what everyone in this physical form has gone through since he's passed. But what I see him wanting to get at with you is the space of peace within himself. And that acknowledgement of finding purpose has been something that he's worked on the other side. And I just see him wanting to apologize for the whirlwind that it threw you into. And I just see him wanting to acknowledge that he is becoming a better person on the other side, and really looking at those hardships that he hasn't wanted to look at, or that he didn't really feel safe to look at in the physical form, and has really been able to look at that and grow. Does that make sense with you?
It does. This is a weird question. Is he going to reincarnate?
That's a great question. I feel like he's acknowledging that, our soul comes here to experience lessons, and whether we experience it fully in this physical form or we experience it maybe in a next lifetime, I just see him saying he learned that lesson, the lessons that he came here to this time, but he's such a learner that he wants to keep learning other lessons, is what he's addressing. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Have you? Yeah, of course. Thank you so
Chris,
much.
I just want to chime in here if I can, and that is, he has been on the other side terms. He's been gone a very short time. There is a lot of lessons. There's a lot of learning that takes place on the other side, so that they can set themselves up for, if they choose to, it's all a matter of choice, even on the other side, whether they want to come back and whether they want to come back and redo it, or they want to come back and learn something else.
Okay.
And sometimes it can be 30 years, which to them is like nothing. Other times it can be very quick.
Okay.
There's a book that I would reference for you.
Yeah.
And it's called Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton. And it talks a great deal about what happens after we die, what we do on the other side, and why we do what we do. And then if we choose to come back, first of all, I got to tell you, on the other side, it's like perfect, and everybody's happy, and it's everybody, and there's only love. And so coming back to this place takes a little bit of intestinal fortitude, if you know what I mean.
Very dense.
Got it.
Yeah. So thank you, Chris, for giving us a call.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Have
a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And so Jen, how did I do as your understudy?
No, that was great. Thank you for clarifying all of that. You put it in perfect words of just relating, that's so true. And we always have a choice. And I know some people are like, I don't know about past lives or whatnot, but our souls always have a choice. And sometimes we want to learn more, and we want to experience more lessons and have more lifetimes of experience. And so we can choose into that, which I love you so perfectly put that out. So thank you for that, Kevin.
Oh, yeah, you're so welcome, because I know that coming back here is a challenge, and people, and on the other side, I mean, it's very dense here. There's a lot of anger, negativity, and fear here. And it's difficult for a soul to absorb all of that, to come here and do it again. But they also, because it's a difficult place, they can learn and they can experience more, and then that increases their ability exponentially. And so you can't learn what you can learn on the other side what you can learn here. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's perfect.
Oh,
and
very good.
That's what I've experienced as well. So you worded it absolutely beautiful.
Why, thank you. I'm getting better. Nathan, who's the next?
I believe it is time for a break, but we do have Brenda in Utah that's waiting on the line.
Let's take Brenda first, and then we'll do a break right after.
Okay. Welcome to the show, Brenda. You are now live with Jen and Kevin on Positive Talk Radio.
It is our pleasure to talk to you, Brenda. Thank you for calling in.
Hi. I just have a question. I'm going through a lot of changes and different decisions to make, and a lot all at once, and it's just very overwhelming. So I'm just wondering if Jen has any sort of message or can reach anyone that's trying to tell me something that I'm not getting.
Yeah, absolutely. First, thank you, Brenda, for coming forward and calling in. We're so grateful. As you're speaking, the lineage that I'm really drawing into right now is I'm drawing into your dad's mom's side of the family, so grandma on your dad's side, that like those generations back. And the overall thing that's really coming forward is it feels like there's this sense of suppression that has been experienced for, it seems like for quite a few generations back. But I just feel this longing in this space of like giving you permission to really focus on making decisions for yourself because you want to versus because you're feeling pressured to do so. And it feels like there's this space of like kind of wanting to people please or wanting to make choices for other people's acceptance. And I just see like you being someone who came here at a young age to kind of like step outside of the box and like push people to view things outside of the box. And so knowing that you have your ancestors, especially on that side, like you sitting with yourself and saying, do I really want to do this? Or am I feeling pressured? Is going to be very healing for that whole generation, but also for you to trust your own intuition. Does that make sense with you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just feels like there's been a lot of rocky patches, and like, especially when it comes to relationships or friendships, it feels like there's been a lot of maybe mistrust within yourself because they haven't turned out maybe how you would have anticipated. But that doesn't mean that your intuition is wrong. There are lessons to learn, and even if something doesn't work out how we thought it would, the lessons that we received confirmation to move forward with are what we're here to learn. And so knowing that you're learning so many beautiful lessons that you're not going anywhere, you're not doing stuff. And so I think that's a really good reminder as well. But it's really letting go of wanting other people's acceptance and really accepting yourself for what you want and who you are.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. And that side of the family does have, or has had, a lot of issues in people pleasing and
and it also feels like, and sometimes it feels like it's easier to also shut down or push people away or push people aside instead of wanting that intimate connection, because it's also easier in some ways to not have that. And so I can see in that line kind of this back and forth, one or the other. And so I just see you being someone who's here to break that chain, but it all starts with having that self-respect for yourself as well.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I hope that kind of gave you a little understanding. But on that side, I don't know, I just feel like you're really being called into that space, which is really beautiful and exciting. And so take some time for yourself to notice why you're feeling overwhelmed or why you're feeling like, I don't know what to do or how to move forward. But like really you have these answers within, and they want you to feel that courage, like that, yes, this is the answer, so that you don't question if you made the right decision. They want you to have that gut confirmation versus someone else having it for you.
That makes sense. Yeah, because if it doesn't come from you, then it won't stick.
Yeah,
Brenda,
then you...
The word that keeps running through my mind is trust.
Yes.
Trust yourself. Trust who you are. And enjoy, actually, instead of dreading transitions, enjoy the transitions, because it is all part of your journey.
I like that. That's very nice. Thank you both so much, or all of you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
You are more than welcome. So Jen, how'd I do again?
Thank you, Brenda. Awesome. Yeah, I love it. Trust and enjoy. Those are two really great focus points to, hit home on. So I loved it.
Awesome. Well, it's awesome having you here. We have a couple lines open, but we're going to play some commercials first, and so we're going to take. That's just 2 minutes. So, Ron, if you hang on the line, and Nathan, if somebody wants to call, what's the number?
Our phone number for the show is 425-373-5527 or toll free at 1-888-298-5569.
We're going to take a quick break so that Jen can have a sip of water, and then we will be right back after this short. Did I say short? I really meant short break. We'll be right back.
Do you believe in the combination of brain work and spirituality? Her grace and sense of humor have made Allison Roberts highly sought after. She's a cognitive behavioral expert with natural intuition. Allison has guided thousands of people all over the world to find their internal power. Visit ALLYSONROBERTS.com for your free guided meditation today.
My name is Kevin McDonald, and I created Positive Talk Radio on KKNW 1150 AM. And if you like what we're doing here, evolving ideas one conversation at a time, we have so much more to offer you on positivetalkradio.net. Over 160 podcasts and growing. Great positive guests and many thoughts and ideas designed to help you and your family live life just a little bit better. You can even contribute to our work by becoming a member and receiving lots of cool stuff. Please check it out. I created PTR because now's the time for positive change, and nothing else matters. Again, visit positivetalkradio.net, and thanks for listening.
When you want to say more than words communicate, you can with flowers. Your custom boutique floral studio in Bothell, Washington is anaturaldesign.com, connecting you to nature through the language of flowers. Where your people are is where our flowers are beautiful. Your success is our goal. Now through New Year's Eve, here's your exclusive bonus for being our appreciated listener. Type in promo code Positive Talk Radio at checkout to receive $20 off your order. Our gift to you for being here with us today. anaturaldesign.com.
Have you ever said, how did I do this again? Want to create your own powerful life? Well, Allison Roberts can help resolve the issues that keep repeating by creating a new outcome. She is one of the top 100 coaches in the world and will help you achieve your dreams. Email her at allison@allisonroberts.com or visit allisonroberts.com and receive a free guided meditation and discover all of her ongoing programs and events. And welcome back, everybody, to Positive Talk Radio on a Friday. It's Metaphysical Friday, and I'm very happy that Jen is here. And by the way, Jen, we need to get your information out. If somebody would like to contact you to have a private meeting, how would they accomplish that?
Yeah, my website is blessedbyangels.org.
Hey, that's a good
That's the best place to set everything up. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of like it.
You must have had that for a while, because I imagine that would have gone pretty good. So anyway, Jen is here, and she's a psychic medium. We've got several calls waiting. We need to try and keep them to about 5 minutes each, and so that we can get through as many as we can. And Nathan, who is next on the hit parade?
Our first caller in this trilogy is Ron Blood, calling from Federal Way. Welcome to the show, Ron. You're live with Jenn Gilbreth.
Oh, great. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Ron.
Hey. How's the Angels today?
They're pretty great. What can we help you with today, Ron?
Well, I'm trying to figure out why I'm single when I'm not wanting to be.
Yeah, that's a great question. Let me just connect into this space here for a moment. It feels like, okay, there's a couple things that come forward with this. And of course, take everything with a grain of salt, see what resonates with you. But I feel like when I'm connecting and I'm feeling a lot of this tension, in my lower back and like my mid to lower back. And I feel like there's a lot of this stress or a lot of this pressure to have perfection in relationships. And that's maybe showing up as perfection and also the other person showing up as perfection. But I feel like there's a lot of that comes from not wanting to be disappointed or to disappoint somebody else. But I feel like there could be some core experiences that had happened, maybe, I don't know, like in childhood of like wanting to be accepted, wanting others to feel that. Can you hear me?
No, you dropped off. I can hear you, but it's real weak.
Might be your connection, Ron. It's coming through pretty fine on our end over here. Are you able to move to a spot that has a little bit better service?
Yeah, well, I'm here now, so I have her talk and I can hear.
Oh, okay. So I'm not sure what you heard, but I feel like I'm just feeling a lot of this lower back pressure and this heaviness being held in the lower back. And I feel like there's some emotions of perfection, like expecting and being perfected in a relationship. But it feels like the time and space right now is all about learning to embrace the wild side, like learning to embrace the unperfection within, which will also bring someone who is also in that same space of learning. Because when you have two imperfect people who are working at that, it brings in a better sense of hope and a better sense of like acknowledgement. So for whatever reason, I'm just feeling a lot of this pressure here and like very hopeful. Like, don't feel like you're going to be single forever, but it's also like maybe reflecting in which ways are there high expectations in what you're looking for or in who you are, and how you can bring a lot of light and a lot of understanding to those places. To bring in a little bit more play and grace in that way. Because there's nothing wrong with you. And there's not that you're going to be single forever. It just feels like a deep soul space, soul contract of really, who am I? What do I want? But how can I have like a funky sense of play versus like perfection, as well as letting loose for yourself so you don't have like that tension of holding everything in your back. Does that make sense with you?
I can understand that. Okay.
Ron, from being a guy myself, can I ask you a couple questions? Number one would be,
sure.
Do you have in your world, in your everyday world, do you run across a lot of women, or are you predominantly surrounded by guys?
Women.
Oh, you got a lot of them around. You got a lot of friends that are women.
Yes.
One of them
moved to the friend station.
Well, that's because you're a good guy. And sometimes the good guys get moved to the friend station. I've had, you're such a nice guy. You're a great friend. It's like, great. I'm so happy about that. But there is somebody who's going to appreciate you for who you are.
Yeah,
True.
Absolutely.
And so just keep open to it and trust that the day is coming, and it's coming soon.
Okay.
Yes, coming very soon.
I'll put that on my dashboard. Trust that it's here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for giving us a call, Ron.
Thank you,
Ron.
Thank you for being there. Take care. Bye.
You're welcome. Boy, Jen, we make a good team, I think.
Yes, I believe so too.
This is a lot of fun. Now let's go to our next call, and that is Nathan. Who is it?
Susan in Seattle, and wanting to know if she was reincarnated to be in this lifetime. So let's bring her on and find that out. You are now live with Jen and Kevin on Positive Talk Radio with Kevin. Well, yeah, Kevin McDonald. Susan.
Thank you very much. I've often wondered if I had been reincarnated or how many times. On my mother's side, those people had all passed on before I was born, so I never knew them. And on my father's side, I did know his father. So I have no real sense of family from years ago, for certainly, because they had passed on before I was born. But I just was curious as to what I may have encountered in my past life, what I'm supposed to be learning for this one.
That is a very amazing and a very loaded question. Yeah, I got to really sit with that as I'm connecting into this space.
Now, go ahead, Jen.
No, Kevin, what do you have to say?
Well, I was just going to say, first of all, when you say, were you reincarnated? My first reaction is, well, duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But I have no sense of what that might have been.
And there's a reason for that. As you come back into this life, you are given the gift of amnesia. And the gift of amnesia is that you don't remember your past life because you're here to do whatever you're going to determine in this life and not what happened before, because you have a new mission, a new place to be versus what you did before. And if you knew that, as an example, that you had a real tough life in a previous incarnation and stuff, it will impact what you do in this life. And you want it to be clean, and you want to move forward and trust that everything is just as it's supposed to be. Now, that would be my opinion. Jen, what do you find?
I completely agree with that. I think that sometimes we can overcomplicate that, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to know what it is, but there's also this sense of like, okay, what is my purpose here now? And what am I here to learn in that space? And so I really feel like a huge major soul lesson is to embrace being accepted here now, like not feeling alone, but feeling supported here and now. And it also feels like you've had a lot of friends come and go, but a lot of core people who are there to support you, whether it be family or friends. But I just feel like a major lesson to learn in this lifetime is to really embrace the support around you, knowing that you don't have to do everything on your own. And it's okay to ask for support and help, but it just feels like there's this sense of like completing and really embracing the sense of like honoring the support here and taking that into your space. And of course, I'm really being drawn to horses, like to stallions. And so I don't know if there's a connection with that or if there has been in the past, but I just feel like the energy of like a horse whisperer or like really working and healing with horses has been something at some point that might be bringing in a lot of healing in your space. But I definitely agree with Kevin of looking forward into this lifetime of, okay, I know that I have had past lives, and I know that I've learned those things. And you can definitely do meditations to the Akashic records or even journaling, but it's really great to focus on the here and the now as well.
Do you have
Does that make sense
of
with
who
you?
I may have had in my past that is a guide to me for now?
Who has been in like a past life that's a guide now? Is that what you're asking?
A present, that is my current angel guide now.
In the spirit form? I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand. In the spirit form or in the physical form?
Oh, I guess the spiritual.
Okay, that's perfect. I don't know, I'm feeling really drawn to, it just feels like there's this Native American woman who's coming forward. And I feel like she's there to bring a lot of support and like bringing you back into the moment and to be connected to the earth and to Mother Earth. And so maybe even going outside, sitting in the soil, maybe gardening or planting, really helping you connect in with her spirit or her energy.
Okay.
Is something to hone in and lean in on.
That's a good feeling. I think I will.
Well, thank you for calling.
That is a very positive, something that I can really do.
Yeah, absolutely. Just take it and, it'll manifest more for you to understand. But being outside in the soil will be a great place to start with her.
Thank you very much.
And by the way, you may have a spirit guide that is actually a stallion. That seems
Hey, I'm okay with that. In Seattle, I don't see it, but I'll have to leave the city in order to get my fill of horses. But I do appreciate the beauty of them. Yes, I do.
Awesome. Then thank you so much for giving us a call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And our next caller is, again, this probably is going to be our last call for today. So who do we have that we get to talk to next, Nathan?
We are headed back to Utah, where Holly is hanging out on the line. Wants to check in with her dad on the other side. Welcome to the show, Holly. You are live on Positive Talk Radio.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call. So, yeah, I just wanted, my father had passed away several years ago, and I just want to know, like, what he knew about that day.
Okay. What he knew about the day that he passed, like what he was experiencing, kind of a thing? Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that is first coming forward to me, Holly, is I'm seeing your dad come forward, but I'm seeing him showing up with this really, like, his spirit body is one that's like really fit and in shape and is like very, like, he's like flexing his muscles and dancing and just feeling like a lot more free to move and free to be like in the best optimal health. And so that's the first thing I see him wanting to come forward with, is to like share with you this sense of vitality. And I also see him talking about a lot of the things that held him back, or the things that he was worried about a lot. I feel like he's addressing is to be water under the bridge. And of course, for us here, it's sometimes hard for us to comprehend that. But I see him wanting to just like show this expansion of who he has been. And so those worries or those heavy thoughts, I feel like he acknowledges what we experience here, but he's got so much more light and love in his space. And that doesn't mean he's happy that he's gone, or that he's like, oh, I'm in this great place and you're stuck here in this heavy density. But I just see him like looking forward into the future versus being held back in the past. Does that make sense with you?
Yeah, that does. That does. Okay, perfect. And then did he know it was happening that day?
Yeah, I feel like he looks back on his passing and can see that he was being prepared. Like I see like the number 3, so I'm assuming it's like 3 days. Maybe it's 3 weeks, but it just feels like there were circumstances and ways that he was finding completion or closure that he wasn't fully aware of happening in the moment. But when he looks back, he can see his soul being prepared before it actually happening.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
but I just see him really wanting, I just see him wanting to like let you know how proud he is of who you are and how you wanted everything to be perfect. And you wanted to take care, and you wanted him to not have any, you didn't want him to have any of this reservation or reserve in life or in his passing, or how you honored him. And so I just see him like wanting to confirm, like to not question anything and to just be at peace, because he feels so honored and heard all of the time. And so he really keeps saying like, be at peace, be at peace, be at peace. I've been heard, loved, and honored. So don't question that anymore, is what he's really wanting to get at.
Okay. That makes total sense.
Beautiful.
Holly, thank you so much for participating with us today. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And you have an awesome 4th of July weekend.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And you be safe. And Jenn, I just wanted to touch bases with everybody out here that even if your relatives left the planet before you were born, or you don't feel like you've got a lot of support, you've got an entire group of people on the other side that by agreement came down here at the same time that you did, and are here to touch bases with you throughout your life. And they don't have to be a blood relative. They can be a good friend. They can be somebody that had an impact on you, and then they went away. And I had a coach that had a great impact when I was a kid, and he died 2 years after he stopped coaching me. So
Wow.
that can happen as well. So Jenn, am I close in that?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of soul contracts that we experience here. And some of them are for a short time, some of them for a long time, but there really is purpose in all of those things. And even those who we have friction with, there's always a purpose. It's always a reflection for us to learn as well. And so, yeah, look around and see those people that light your soul on fire, that make you feel and want to be better, because they are here for you and you're here for them. So I think that's, especially this weekend when you're going into the world with everyone that you love and care about, it's a great way to think about that.
Absolutely. By the way, if somebody wants to contact you again, how do they get a hold of you?
blessedbyangels.org, or you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Jenn Gilbreth, It's Jenn, and then Gilbreth is Gilbreth.
Very cool. And you can find this episode as soon as Nathan uploads it. You will be able to find this episode on positivetalkradio.net, where I've got now, that commercial said 160, I now got 180. So we are continuing to move forward with what we are doing. Jenn, I just want to thank you so much. You have to come back. I love working with you. You give me the energy to be able to do. And you said that things were changing for me in the last 3 months. There was a time when I would never have chimed in with what I did today, because I feel differently now, and I feel like that's part of my growth.
I was going to say, I feel like there's going to be a lot of channeling opening for you. I was meaning to get to that earlier, so I think you got the answers too, and I don't know, it's a great space to step into, and very inspired for sure, Kevin. And
I love it very much. By the way, we got to go. Be safe this weekend, and take care of each other, because each other's all we got. We'll see you Monday morning.